Hi, everyone. I'm Autistic Ange. This is a podcast for adults who recently found out they're autistic and are looking for other autistic people like them. Quick little update for those of you who've been following in order. This morning, I finished the final stab, that medicine that I have to inject in myself every morning to prevent blood clots after my major surgery. I finished the last stab this morning, and I am so happy I do not have to do that anymore. At least in the near future. But that sucked. That did not get any easier. The only thing that kept me going was knowing that, I'm doing it because I do not want to socialize, and that totally made it worth it. But, my process for experiencing pain is weird. At least to me it is. For example, when I stab myself with a medication, inject, stab, whatever, same thing. It burns. For the first 60 seconds, the medication, you can just feel it. And the whole process just is gross. But the part when it burns, which is painful, I need to figure out what to do to not focus on this pain and the fact that I just stabbed myself with this pretty long needle. So I wear shorts all the time in the house because I feel claustrophobic if I wear pants while I'm inside. So I immediately just start because I'm sitting here and I start slapping my thighs as hard as I can. I'm not encouraging self-harm by any means, but this is what has gotten me through this past a few weeks, 3 weeks I've been doing this. I sit there for a good 2-3 minutes and just repeatedly smack my thighs as hard as I can. It hasn't been leaving marks, which is good, but it distracted me enough so that when the burning stopped, I could just continue on with my day. So that annoying thing's over. Also, since I had surgical menopause, these past few days, I'm finally starting to experience, the stuff that comes along with menopause, and hot flashes is one of them. I mentioned before, I've always had temperature issues. And I don't think that'll ever change. I've had that since I was a kid, just very sensitive to extremely hot temperatures mostly. I do well in the cold, it's just mostly the hot. So when I had my first hot flash, it felt like I was on fire. I'm not good at explaining stuff. It just felt like fire was oozing out of every pore, chest up, my arm, my neck, my face. It would just suddenly came on, and it just felt like, I was shooting fire out of my body. I don't know. And it was so intense, and I don't remember if I talked about this or not, so I'm sorry if I did, but what had happened, was I had just stabbed myself in the morning. And so after I smacked myself on my thighs for 3 minutes, then I get up and I pace back and forth in the house to calm my anxiety. It's a whole fucking process. Oh my God, I'm so high maintenance. But it's a whole process. So I was doing that, and I think it was the combination of the anxiety, experiencing pain from the medication, the fact that I stabbed myself with a needle, and then my very first hot flash came on, and I got so nauseous. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I ended up having to throw up a little bit. I swear, everything makes me nauseous. But the ones I've had after that haven't been like that. They're uncomfortable, but it still feels like I'm shooting fire out of my body. And I have smaller hot flashes. So I just call them little fires, that show, Little Fires Everywhere. because I don't think the word hot flash is a good descriptor of what these are, because they don't just come and go in like 2 seconds. That's like what a flash is. Like they stay, for me, for at least a minute. I don't know how long they're supposed to last. I don't know if I have something else in store regarding these things. But anyways, I think it's pretty cool. Like whenever something new is happening to my body, like I am totally focused on it. Anyways, you know what? Like this isn't even what I'm doing this episode about. And I'm sure people don't want to hear about this for like ever. So I'm just going to move on, but that's an update. Anyways, this episode I wanted to make, about like, small barriers, because I was thinking yesterday, what was I trying to do? Was I trying to open a lid or something? I don't remember what I was doing because my memory sucks. At least my short-term memory sucks. But anyways, and I remember thinking like, God, like, why can't I just do something and not have to stop what I'm doing to like do something else? And I really think this is an autistic thing, because at the very least, this is what I'm hearing other people talk about. And this is just another one of those things in my life that makes complete sense now, because when I have like a little barrier, and it'll make more sense when I start talking about them. But when I have like a little barrier in the middle of something I'm doing, I do not deal with those well. And so I'll just start giving examples. So for example, opening jars. It was like, it took the longest time before like I bought one of those things that you screw underneath your cabinet thingy, your cupboards, and like you put the jar up there and you turn it and like the lid comes right off. Like it took forever before I finally got one. I don't know why I waited so long, but like opening jars sucked. I just want to get to whatever's inside the jar. Like, why do people have to make those so fucking tight? Like, I don't get it. And packaging too. Sometimes like when I order something and it comes from something other than Amazon, like, and there's so much tape and shit, like why? Like it takes so long to get to get into the box to get to what I need, like even with scissors. Maybe that wasn't a good example. Like let's say I'm working on a book, like I'm editing a book, and my computer is deciding to slow down a little bit, and I need like updates, and I have to wait for it to reboot. It's the worst thing when I have been working on something for like, maybe I've had a good flow going for 45 minutes, and all of a sudden my laptop starts like slowing down a bit and freezing here and there, which lets me know I need to like restart it, and just having to stop pisses me off, because it takes several minutes for the laptop to fucking reboot, update, all that shit. And then usually I've lost my flow. And you know, like that pisses me off, because it's not often I can get into a good flow state and not feel distracted, not have my mind take me other places. So that stuff pisses me off. When I used to drive, my last job was about 40 minutes away. Yeah, it was 40 minutes both ways. And the worst thing would be, like, there were a few worse things, I should say. Like, one of them would be traffic getting backed up because of an accident. And like, I just want to get home like everybody else does, but I feel like I get super pissed off and frustrated when I'm just sitting in traffic. That didn't happen a lot, because I didn't have to contend with rush hour because of the way I set my hours up, but like you can't predict accidents. And so like maybe I had just enough gas to get me home, and I was planning on like going to the same gas station I always go to fill up, and like now I'm stuck at, like in traffic. How long is my gas gonna last me? Am I gonna have to Flintstone it, like, you know, like the Flintstones? And you know, hopefully you remember the Flintstones. If you're my age, you do. But stupid thoughts would just like go through my head. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if like I just break down in the middle of the road right here? Because that did happen to me one time and it was fucking embarrassing. The internet temporarily going out. Like, we have good internet, but sometimes it like fizzles out for like a minute. I don't know, like if it's the router like doing some, I don't know why. It doesn't happen every day, but sometimes like, or even like if there's like a really bad like thunderstorm and the internet goes out, that doesn't happen really at all. But like the times that it has happened pissed me off because like I was watching like a UFC event that I paid for, and now I can't because there's no power and I don't get to watch it live with everybody else. Or if I'm working on something and now I can't, like just all these. And I know that like, I'm not saying that autistic people are the only people that get pissed off when stuff like this happens. I feel like we get way more frustrated than ordinary people do. Just from my experiences and like what I'm hearing other people talk about, that this is pretty common with autistic people. There was this one time, it was a few years back when I had just gotten done with a dentist appointment and I was in the parking lot and it was a really bad snow day. Like snow was just coming down, like, several inches within 2 hours. Like it just was crazy. And I went to the appointment only because like they're literally 1 minute down the street. There's no reason why I couldn't go. So when I got done and I go out to my car, there had been no plow person to come to the parking lot. There was all this snow in the parking lot. And so I was thinking like, do they not have plow people? Or, it probably was just that it came down so quickly that like, there wasn't enough time for somebody to come and like clear it when I wanted it to be cleared. But anyways, I went ahead and tried backing out, and I have a little Chevy. So I have a Chevy Cruise. So I didn't get very far and I got stuck in the middle of the fucking parking lot and I wasn't able to go forward. I wasn't able to go backward. And for whatever reason, I had the window down and I just let out this loud scream. Like, it wasn't even a short scream. It was like a long scream. And then I realized I just did that with the window down and I probably looked crazy. But that's how frustrated I got because I couldn't get out of the fucking parking lot and nobody had plowed. So I got out of my car. I go inside. I told them I needed a shovel because their parking lot wasn't plowed and they didn't even apologize. They gave me the shovel and I went and I shoveled myself a path out. Like, what the fuck? I was so pissed. And plus, this was after a dentist appointment where my anxiety was like pretty high and I just wanted to get home to my safe space. Oh my God. Like if you could have seen me, I just feel like sometimes my very existence is embarrassing. Like, what the fuck? But that was not a good day at all. But that's just an example of like something interrupting what I was planning on doing. I don't like these interruptions. It gets so bad sometimes that like the fact that like if I'm walking in the house or something, like and I have to bend over and pick something up that fell, that's annoying. What else? When I'm folding clothes, if they're inside out and I have to, turn them right side or whatever, that gets annoying because that's just an extra like 5 seconds that I could have had that shirt folded instead of turning it inside out. If I'm sitting down, like maybe like I'm painting something and so I sit down and I think I have all my supplies with me and I start painting and I realize I forgot the little cup of water and the paper towel. And then I have to like stop what I'm doing and get up and go do those things. It doesn't sound like much at all, but like it pisses me off because I have to stop what I was doing to get up and go do these things, get these things that I forgot, and then go back to like what I wanted to do. Does that make sense? Does that sound like high maintenance? I feel like it does. Like mowing. So like this doesn't happen very often because I usually check the tank and the mower before I start mowing, but sometimes like I'll forget or whatever and I'll start mowing and then it putters out and I realize I have to go back to the backyard to get the gas can to fill it up. That's very annoying. And what's more annoying is realizing that there's no gas left in that gas can and I have to now go to the gas station to get gas to finish mowing because I can't just leave like a half mowed lawn. That would look weird. That pisses me off. Like, I don't know if it's just pissing me off, it's the frustration, if that's one and the same. But it's like things like this that I get so frustrated. Interruptions of any kind. And I think that it's because like we like to know what to expect, that's just like what makes us feel calm. And when an interruption or like a little barrier, whatever they're called, whenever that happens and it interrupts whatever we were planning to do, it's just I don't think we handle it very well. I've heard a few people talk about their experiences. I wish I could hear more from other people, but when I am frustrated when things like this happen, I feel like I look like I'm a 5-year-old. Last night I was making my wife dinner and I was listening to an audiobook because that's what keeps me motivated. And plus, like I like to do 2 things at once just to be efficient. Like for example, I'll brush my teeth and like in the morning, I'll take my morning dump and brush my teeth at the same time just to get that done with. It's probably too much information, but like, what else am I doing? I got time to brush my teeth. But anyways, what the fuck? So my wife comes in to the kitchen and asks me a question, and whenever there's an audiobook going and I'm focused on doing a specific task and I get interrupted by her, boy, do I get fucking pissed. Like, you think she would realize it by now. But like, I don't know how to explain it other than it feels like a short circuit. So like she comes in there and she asks me, like, she just was being nice. She's like, do you need any help? Because, there's a whole story behind that. Maybe I'll just back up. Okay, sorry about this. So yesterday, like my wife's been wanting a new car and she wants a specific car. So she found it. It was about an hour and a half away. Like, I don't know if it's an hour and a half. Yeah, maybe it's an hour and a half in Rochester. So we drive all the way out to this car place because they had the car that she wanted. And they go to pull it around and it's not the color she wanted. It's white and she wanted blue. And so she told the guy that the person she spoke with on the phone said it was blue. Like, she asked twice and the person confirmed it was blue and here's white. And the guy got like pissed at us. He's like, well, this is the only one that we have. And then he completely ignored us and started talking like, okay, here's the features of this, and this. And I was like, this is a shitty salesperson. Part of me thought that he was on drugs, like, I can tell. I just had this feeling. But anyways, he was just a fucking dick. And maybe I should back up even more than that. I'm really sorry, guys, but like, how our minds work. Like, anyways, like this. So like, oh my God, I'm sorry for all the likes. My talking sucks today. I feel like, see, there it is again. Like I'm talking like I'm in high school. Anyways, it's about 11:30 in the morning and my wife decides that like she'd already called the place and she's like, I'm going to go get this car. And I'm like, well, I wanted to support her and go with her because I had told her before I would do that. And I did not stop and think about the fact that it would interrupt a routine I was currently engaging in or whatever. And so I had this whole plan for how my day was going to go yesterday. It didn't go that way. I sucked it up and I was like, I need to be supportive. She wants this car. I'm not going to make her drive all the way out there by herself and deal with salespeople by herself. So like I went with her. And I was so proud of myself that I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. My routine got interrupted, but I'm okay with it. I felt the same way when we came back. We ended up not getting a car because the car she wanted wasn't there. And for the amount of money she was willing to pay for the car, she wanted it in the color she wanted it in. Like, totally makes sense. But on the ride back, I didn't think it was a waste of a trip because we still took that white car out for a drive to see if it was something that she would like. But on the way back, I was still in a good mood. I was like, this is great. I'm not getting anxious because like my day was interrupted with this. I mean, this took a good like 3-4 hours out of my day. And so I truly felt fine until I walked through the door and I realized, oh my God, I have to make her meals for work the next day. I have to make her dinner. I still have to scoop the litter boxes. I have to wash the dishes. I have to do this, and this. And I didn't even get to the work that I needed to do for the day. Like my actual work, I didn't get to that. And so immediately I felt anxious. I was frustrated. I was like, I have all this shit to do. And I just wanted to sit when I got home because I was just ridiculous. But I can't sit and relax because I know I got all these things to do and they're at the time that I usually do them. So I just had to start doing them. And I don't think that sounds very weird to you guys. I think you probably have had experiences like this and you understand. But so that was like what had happened before my wife had come into the kitchen and asked me if I needed help. And I short-circuited. I was like, what? She was just looking at me. She's like, do you need help? And I'm like, stop talking. And oh my God, I had to just turn I put the audiobook on pause and I'm like, what did you say? And she's like, I just came out here to see if you needed help. And I'm like, no, I don't need help. I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. I have it all down. Like, I have a system. Like, I'm good. And then she's like, okay. Oh my God. And I obviously apologized after the fact, but this stuff happens on a regular basis. So how effective are my apologies? I don't think they're that effective, but I do feel bad after the fact. But like, I feel like I can't control these reactions. They just happen. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm not taking responsibility for the way that I react to things because I do take responsibility. It just is a fact that they just these reactions just immediately happen. There's no warning. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know how I'm going to react, what I'm going to say. Like, does that make sense? And it's all because of an interruption. I mean, there's more obviously, like sometimes like with the situation yesterday, there was more behind it. But like for the everyday things, when there's an interruption or what I call like a small barrier, I just freak the fuck out. Even if it's for like 5 seconds and then I get back to what I was doing, but it's just annoying. And I know I'm not the only one that has experienced things like this. I mean, this is like a daily thing. And I know that I could go on and on about this for like hours, but I think you get the gist. Like, interruptions suck. I wish I was like, I had superpowers and I could get everything done in the amount of time that I needed to get done in with absolutely no interruptions of any kind. I don't know how ordinary people do it. I don't know how they just stop and they're okay that they got interrupted and they go deal with whatever that is. And then they're able to go back to what they were doing as if there was no problems. I don't know how they do it. That's one of the things that like, I wish that like I could do is just like be more accepting of things that pop up here and there. But that's hard for me. I struggle with that. So I hope that people can relate to this. And that's all I really have for today. So, and my communication, like, I really need to stop saying that word. I don't even know why I'm saying it. I'm thankful that I can talk and words can come out and they seem to make some sort of sense. But anyways, you know, I think I should stop apologizing for these episodes because it seems like they make sense. People are still listening. And I thank you guys very much for doing that. And I thank you for your emails to let me know that, like, I'm not alone. Those are so helpful. I think I put my email like in the show description somewhere. People find it, so it's somewhere. And also somebody asked me about social media, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I don't do social media. As soon as I found out I'm autistic, like I deleted all my social media because I've never liked it. I've always felt, no offense to people who use it. I understand that social media, I understand like, its purpose and benefits, but I felt that like I had to have it because everybody else did. But I also didn't like having it because I knew that people were just posting things that were positive all the time. And it felt like, that's not really how their life is every day. Not that I want people to post like all their drama, but I never was into social media. I'm a very private person. I don't like posting things. So when I found out that I'm autistic, I was like, oh my God, like I don't have to have social media if I don't want to. So that was one of the first things I did was I deleted all of it. Like I don't do YouTube or anything like that. I'm just a very private person. And, sorry that like I'm a dinosaur and email's the only way you can connect with me. Like I'm really sorry about that, but not having my actual identity out there, I guess, is what's making it easier for me to do these episodes. Not that I've told anybody I'm doing a podcast. My wife is the only one that knows. And not that any of the people I know would probably ever find a podcast like this, but I still feel better calling myself Autistic Ange because, Angela is my real first name, but no social media, none of that. So sorry, guys. It just was really liberating for me to delete all that shit after all these years of thinking I was supposed to have it and being a sheeple. And I don't want to be a sheeple no more. So anyways, if you're still listening, thank you. This was just me recording to an app on my phone, hoping people find me, listen, understand, relate, and hopefully have a similar experience to what I did when I heard myself on somebody else's podcast for the first time. Goodbye.